Welcome to another exciting Kopi chat, right? That's what we call Kopi with Vans. I know today is, earlier than what we usually do at 9 p.m., but today is a special podcast that we're going to have a chat with this, my favorite person as well. I'm sure you all know who is this person who's going to come in because we have done a short teaser video that is the CEO of SINDA, Mr. Anbarasu Rajendran. He's going to come in a while, but if you're watching this, please make sure hydrate yourself because nowadays weather is extremely like very hot, right? So that is why nowadays you don't see me talking about Kopi at time because Kopi can actually dehydrate you. But I'm not sure if my guest speaker is having his coffee, so let's catch him off guard because I've not told him anything about coffee or water. But let's check. I'm sure he's listening, but he's going to jump in and we're going to have a great chat today. So without further ado, let me invite the CEO of SINDA, a chat with the CEO. Hello, sir. How are you?
How are you, brother Wang? Thank you so much for having me. And made sure I had my coffee with me. So here is the coffee.
Okay, because I was telling the crowd or the listeners about the Kopi because he can dehydrate you, but also okay. I'm sure you're also hydrating yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today, sir. Despite your busy schedule, thank you. Mika Nandri.
No, it's my duty because it's so wonderful to see you and all the brothers and sisters who are logging in, and it's a very good platform for me to share and also hear from all the brothers and sisters out there.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I know this will be the second time you'll be hearing from me like a broken record. Not to do an introduction, but of course, there might be some people who are just joining in and seeing who is this handsome CEO. Probably, if you can just do an introduction of yourself, sir.
So my name is Anbu. My full name is Anbarasu Rajendran, but people call me Anbu. In Tamil, Anbu means love. So I think the love the community shows to me is so good and abundant. So I think that's what makes it so meaningful. I'm the team lead at SINDA, or another way we call it the CEO of SINDA. More so, I'm just there as a mentor for a lot of people in SINDA, the volunteers, the staff, our auxiliary staff. And I just a cheerleader for getting everyone together to uplift the committee.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the humble introduction. And the viewers who are watching this, we are live right now in all social media platforms. That will be LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well. So we are in all social media having a great chat with the CEO of SINDA. And sir, before we jump into the question that was prepared, but of course, there are some questions wasn't prepared because I'm going to take you off guard. That is where the ziz is going to be. But sir, I've always been watching you in social media, right? Constantly. Sometimes I even ask myself this question: is he really taking a proper rest? Because you're going door knocking, you are under community, and sometimes you are in the events. Sometimes I see you with the ministers. So I'm like, you are like literally everywhere. You walk the talk. You are the CEO. You're the man in front, the man behind. How do you manage this, sir? I mean, this is extremely time management, and of course your family as well. So sometimes I have this question: how are you managing this, sir, in terms of time management? Maybe you can talk a little bit of about this before we jump into the real question that planned for you today.
Sure. I think when I was in Ministry of Education and when I was called to serve at SINDA about 7 years ago, I took a very deep thought and say that if I'm going to do this, I better do it properly, because there's a lots and lots of good things we need to do, and I shouldn't be the main obstacle. So what I do is that I work 7 days most of the time. Some days I get off because community events happen on weekends, and we still got meetings and everything. So I'm everywhere because I just want people to know that there is this guy called Anbu. He is a voice for the community, and he will help us. So yes, it's tiring. Some days it's very tiring, but then the thought that if I'm there, I can support someone. If I'm there, the organizer will be happy to see Anbu, and it is the community coming for the community, and I'm just there to support everybody. There are big organizations, small organization, many people, and when they see me, they're like, hey, thank you for coming. And that thank you, and also the platform to engage with the community. Yes, it's tiring, but I think it's something I got to do.
It definitely has some kind of a passion within you, sir, because it can't be just be job because it's just 8 to 5, and I'm going off, But you are the man. I mean, I'm not paid to do this or to pay to say this, but this is my own opinion, right? But I see you always on the ground, all right? Every
Yeah.
event you are getting involved, whether it's a football event or whether it's a door knocking. So you seem to be very approachable,
Yeah.
and I spoke to a few of your staff when I was there, but I'm not going to mention the names. They, they feel very comfortable approaching you. So there is you don't seem to be a very strict person, are you? Are you a really
No,
a strict person?
no, I'm not, because every of my I call all my colleagues comrades in SINDA. So
Yeah,
yes, so because many years ago I used to be with the NTUC as a unionist and everything. So this concept of comradeship is there, and so everybody is part of this whole thing. So in SINDA there's no hierarchy. We are all together, and the fact that you just shared that, if you notice, uh, last 4 5 years I wear a uniform. So I gave up the long sleeve and everything, and I wear Cinda uniform day in day out, three different colors, so that tell people that, hey, this is Anbu. So whenever I go somewhere, previously with my long sleeve, people were very hesitant to come forward. Can I talk to him? Not
right.
now with this, they just come to me and say, sir, I need help, sir. This. So it's also another tool for me to engage the ground. So all this, when we break away all the barriers and be there on the ground, we are able to achieve a lot of things. So going back to the question, actually, I'm not strict, like, it is win-win, and I just work with everybody, and the thing here is that for some of them I'm a mentor, for some of them I'm a colleague, for some of them I'm a comrade, for some of them, this uncle. So it helps. Yeah.
Sometimes, sir, even in corporate life, people are very afraid to approach the boss. Is boss having a bad day? Is boss having a good day? These kind of, but you are always on the ground. So you are like the ears for the community, for the staff. That's why I say you're always the man in front and behind of Sinda, because your uniform says a lot. You do all those stuff just like anyone, right? Like you say, there's
Yeah.
no hierarchy. Everybody works together towards a complete. So that is the interesting part that we're going to touch today, sir. And of course, you are been with Sinda for many years. And how many years has been, sir?
Uh, as the CEO, 7 years, but it goes back to many years, lah, because when I was in school, in I've been a school liaison officer, so I used to link the school with the SINDA programs and everything. And one point in time, I was also the center principal of one of the STEP centers. Uh, and then in 2009, I was seconded to SINDA as part of my leadership for 3 years. So I used to be the director of the education services. So I kind of did some work. Then I went back to schools as school leader. Then I came back, and it's been 7 years. So the umbilical cord between SINDA and me has been there for many years. So that also helps because I've 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 created an ecosystem of many people in this thing. So they know me, not as the CEO, but Anbu. uh, the ground person, or the grassroots person, or some of them call our anbu, namma anbu. So it helps.
Sir, I mean, you made a point there because it's very approachable and you know what exactly is happening to our community because you are in the ground door knocking and you see real situation that most of us don't see, right? And then, of course, this, I mean, of course, in any social media or any organization, we will always say, oh, what SINDA has done for us and so on and so forth. So, the one we'll keep it to the later part of the question. But from the time that you took over and right now, as a ordinary Singaporean, or from the Indian community, I've seen so much of changes happening, especially on a youth development, which we'll talk about later, which the
Yeah.
questions has already been planned for you. But what, in terms of establishment, you have evolved over, as what you said, with your comrades and the organization itself?
So one of the most important thing I did was to bring back SINDA to be a community organization. Yes, we have a lot of things, structures, governance, and everything. But apart from that, SINDA has to be the community's organization. So we brought it back to the community. We got a lot of volunteers back, and also we work with a lot of community partners. So when slowly and surely, when they realize that, hey, this is the SINDA which was in the beginning stages, and when they start to affiliate to SINDA to say that this is our SINDA, and everything came together. But it wasn't easy because there was some mistrust. Some of them say that, oh, SINDA has grown too big. It's a huge organization now. If we collaborate with SINDA, will they take over our branding and all those things? So I had to go back to them and say that, hey, listen, we are all brothers and sisters in this, and everyone is doing a part to the community. If I can do something, I will definitely help, but I won't take away the good work you are doing. A big brother doesn't drop the younger brother or the younger sister of the glory. So I'm there just to help. So let's do this together. And it took me about a year to win back all the support, and suddenly they realized that, hey, this is our SINDA. So that's why sometimes, I put a hashtag in my Facebook and all the social media, our SINDA, because it's to tell them. And today, if we have so many partners within Indian community, outside Indian community, government agencies, but the most important thing I think for the success is we keep to our promise. If we say we'll help people, we must help people. And I have this policy within SINDA that if someone comes to us, please, as soon as possible, help the problem. Don't wait. Because just like us, if I have a problem, if I'm told to wait for 2 days, it's going to be very tough for me. So same thing. So I tell my comrades, listen, we should be always thinking from the beneficiary's point of view. If we can help, please do it as soon as possible. So this ground rule has been established at SINDA, and that's why you see whenever people come, we will quickly, but we'll follow the guidelines and help. So that has won back a lot of people, and we are very grateful because previously we noticed if anything about SINDA, people will come and troll us, whack us, and everything. But now
Right,
we
right.
we managed to have supporters who come and support and say that, hey, actually SINDA is not that bad.
Sir, at this point of time, in Tamil they say Taranam. In the Taranathal, I want to share something. I was there for a teaser video with you quite a few weeks back, and nobody knows that I was there. As I was waiting for one of your manager, right? So this old auntie came in, right? She came in, and within a number of seconds, she was attended to, and then within 1 to 2 minutes, the officer who came in and took her, and they attended to her. So I see there's a lot of efficiency going there. So which as a third party, I'm observing this, and I'm going to say that a lot of things has really, really improved because at one point of time when we talk about SINDA, I mean, we can't make people happy. How much our organization do? Some people always give some kind of comment like what you mentioned because of the partnership and because of this whole community that people have trusted, and they see a lot of changes happening within our community, and a lot of people have benefited. And I think that is one of the most profound community work that you do. Because if someone is just doing an 8 to 5 job, it is just going to be very monotonous. You just finish, I go back. But this is more than that, right? And that's where my next question is going to, sir. I mean, in the youth leadership, it's a major focus area in SINDA. What kind of support is available to our younger generation? Because we believe, younger generations are very important. Our not so old of course with a little bit of beard coming up, my age is catching up. But you know, ரொம்ப பெருமையா இருக்கு. It's very happy to see that no one is left behind as long they are willing to approach and get help, because help is given, right? I mean, that is how
Yeah.
all our whole government and our SINDA is all working towards it. But what is kind of help is available to our younger generations, sir?
So for the youth, right, as you correctly say once, this group of champions are very important. I call them champions because they have all the potential. It's just that some of them know that they have the potential, some of them do not have. So apart from the academic side of the house, where we have the tuition program and everything, what we do is more on the non-academic side. One example is I have about, while we speak, every weekend I have about 200 Indian boys and girls playing football. We
Yeah.
provide them the SINDA Soccer Club. We provide them with everything. The whole idea is you come there and play football. And the point we tell them is very simple. You may not be good as the person next door. We book a few futsal pitches. There'll be some group of boys and girls playing competitive football. There'll be some who just learning how to kick a football. Some trying, and everything. So our point to them is everyone is in different stages. You don't compare. The moment you start comparing that, hey, how come I'm not like that and everything, you lose the game. So if today you can run a bit, that's very good. In 2 3 sessions you'll be able to kick the ball, and it takes time. So what we're trying to do here is build the soft skills. Tell them, and today's context is that you may have 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 5 degrees. It's not about all the paper qualification. What skill set you bring. And one of it is these soft skills. When they are able to go to interview, when they're able to be very confident Indian youth, I think 50% of the battle is won. Then they should have the skill set. So apart from this, we're also looking at the soft skills building. We're also very concerned about the mental well-being of our youths. They are very stressed and everything. So how do we then settle this? And you can't conduct a mental well-being workshop. Nobody will turn up. Only probably myself and the trainer will turn up. So how do we design it in a way? So they do rock climbing, they do many activities. You see, but you may ask me, Anbu, just by conducting all these programs, will it be successful? So we have a method of how we see. So before the program start, we conduct one survey, and while the program is going, at the end of the program, we conduct one more survey, and 3 months later, we conduct another post survey to see how effective it has been. And in some cases, we also engage the parents. So it is not doing 20 programs, 30 programs. And every youth who comes into our fold, it's like our own child. So no one is left behind, and we will ensure that everyone is taken, because every youth got different needs. Like, you see some of them who's outspoken, then you see 3 4 boys sitting behind, don't want to talk anything. So when you ask him, yeah, why you not talking? No, I'm very shy. I said, come on now, don't worry, nobody's going to judge you. So when
Yeah.
you give them a safe space and tell them, listen, nobody is going to judge you. We are in a SINDA family. Just talk. And suddenly we realize that people open up. So it's giving them the safe space. And the moment they discover that, hey, I can kick a ball, I can run 200 meters. Previously, they can't. Or, I can go in front of the crowd and say something. I can do A, B, C, whatever it is. And then you realize that they start to blossom. That is, so what the role of SINDA is just being the, spark line.
And also a lot of opportunities for them to explore
Yeah,
and tap into their potentials to be out there, just not academically, but
yeah,
also in terms of soft skills and whatever, like you said, the confidence, able to carry up themselves. Because like so I'm from the fitness aspect, so I know the fitness and the sports and the health actually really not only curate the mind, but you make your best version of yourself. Like what you said very well, sir. Like there's no competition among everybody. Everybody moving ahead together to get the bigger pie. So I think well said, sir. So the next question that I'm going to ask you is, தமிழ்ல வந்து சொல்லுவாங்க கொஞ்சம் வெக்கப்படுவாங்க, a little bit people shy to approach.
yeah.
Um, yeah, how do you if let's say some family is having some kind of financial situation but they don't want to show to the society, Is there some kind of SINDA keep it like PNC, like they don't let anybody know if the person is a bit shy to come? Because I'm sure people who are listening to this, they want help. But another part is அந்த வெக்கம்னு சொல்றோட they feel a bit, oh, I don't need the help, but they really need. So what kind of system that SINDA has for people who are a bit shy to approach SINDA for help?
Okay, so what we have done also is that we realize this problem, you see, and it's very natural. People have the self pride, and sometimes they don't want to come. So, for example, for our FSC, right, our Family Service Center, we have a lot of walk-ins, and when they walk in, the first encounter with them is that we try to do all the necessary intervention. But after that, if there's no necessity for them to come over to SINDA, we do Zoom calls, and also our social worker go to their homes. So there's this stigma that people used to say, if I go to SINDA, my relatives will see and everything. So we have tried to eliminate that. And if today, if anybody needs help, they just have to call, or even you have a chat bot in SINDA, or even there is a email contact. So our social work,
Chatbots, huh?
yeah,
You
yeah,
mentioned
yeah.
chatbot, so they speak with the AI and then before, so
Not
they
yet
don't
that.
need to do,
It's almost there, but not there. But they can
okay,
don't need don't need to wait for one of my colleague in the reception to call. They can get everything, and then if they
right,
provide the email, one of the officers will call them and everything. So what we did is, let's make it no pain at all for anybody. And if you remember, many years ago, we learned from our mistake. We used to give them Cinda bag with the logo and everything. We stopped everything. We stopped
mm,
everything because I shouldn't be advertising Cinda in the expense of that child's privacy, you see. So what we do now is very simple. Okay, for the back to school festival, I give you $140 popular voucher and $60 Bata voucher. Aya or Amma, you go and buy whatever you need. You want to buy this bag, go and buy. Okay, and you proudly wear. Nobody is going to know that is
right,
from Cinda, but in your heart, the uncle and auntie, and the Indian community especially, the whole of Indian community contributed for my education. That's what we want, you see. It's not about Cinda. It's about a child or someone, a family who is in need. He or she should know that if I fall behind, the whole Indian community is there and Cinda will be the champion. So we have done that. We have gone into vouchers and everything, shopping vouchers, because you see, when we start buying for them everything, then I'm robbing your rights of choosing what you want. So, but when I give you the voucher and say, Amma, andanga, $100 NTUC voucher, ஏதோ ஒரு voucher, இப்போ வாங்கிக்கோன்னா, they feel that they're not discriminated because they are less privileged, and they have the power to go and do the purchasing. So this is what we want, and we have been doing that now, and that's why more and more people are coming forward, and we realize that some people, when some of our brothers and sisters, when we go and ask them, why 4 months you've been suffering, you could have come. Their point is, there's just so much of problem that I couldn't think. I'm so sorry. And these are the moments we are continuing to educate a lot of people to say that you don't have to suffer in silence. Especially when the adults suffer, it's not they are suffering, the children are suffering. That is the worst thing. And when a child, in a young tender age, gets this negative scars and everything, it's very difficult. It starts from there, and then this low self morale will come in, and then everything will come in. So if any brother and sister is watching here, watching this, please, you don't have to be so worried that anyone will see this. I always say, in Tamil, that Cinda is your Thai video, your mother's home. It's your Thai video. When you go, if you're married, or you're staying everywhere, or even you're staying alone, in the weekends when you go to your mom's house, you have all the privileges and you feel so comforted, right? Same thing. Cinda is your mother's home. Thai video.
well said.
Vanga.
Well said, sir. Well said on that. Sir, I'm going to definitely going to ask about a few more questions pertaining to that question. But let's just look at this PCI criteria because I've not heard about it. I'm not aware of that. But I know that SINDA recently revised PCI. What is the change and how does it impact the community, sir? I mean,
Okay. So firstly, what is PCI? PCI is the whole the gross income salary of the family divided by number of people. So based on that, previously it was $1,000. So the thing here is, higher the PCI, more people can benefit from. Okay, so we were only at 1,000, and what happened was that there were a lot of other people, those who in 1,001, or they couldn't benefit from it, and we realized that because of inflation, because of you know the, the the cost of living has gone up and everything, there are a lot of people who need help. And the other thing is, you see, if you look at three tiers, right? This is those in the high earning. Then we have the middle income and the less privileged, right? And one of the things you will notice that in the middle income, the sandwich class, the bottom 20th percentile, most of them, they are equally suffering, just like the less privileged. But they can't get anything because, because of the criterion and because of the sandwich class. There are government initiatives. There's a lot of government initiatives like the CDC voucher and everything. But they can't get more help than that. So what we decided was we need to help everyone. And that's why, and then it's more important that I need to handle this 20th percentile of the middle income household before they fall into the third bracket of less privilege. If they fall into that, there's going to be a lot of social problems. And we raised the PCI to 1,006, which means that if you look at the numbers, right, when you do a data crunch and everything, about 44,000 individuals will benefit. So I just give you an example. We revised this in January 1006 PCI, and by March, we have 2,000 plus new individuals who have come to ask for help. That's a lot of people, and I think if my numbers are correct, we have 896 students, 896 students once. That's a big number who have subscribed to SINDA bursary. So if you have not done this revision, 896 children would not have gotten the SINDA bursary. And we're just talking about March. And as we go more and more and more, there'll be more kids. So we have allocated about $5 million to this new change. And when I saw the numbers, I was very heartened because if let's say we didn't do this, and nobody asked us to do, right? It's just that for the community, we want this to be done. And 896 children getting monthly bursary for 10 to 11 months, that's a lot of good things we can do. Yeah.
Sir, I mean, to engage in community service, one have to be very strong in heart because you will see situations and kind of stuff. But at this point of juncture, I want to ask you, sir. I mean, of course, no name mentions. When you seen certain situation in family like abuse, like
Yeah.
financial and food, even though in Singapore there's a lot of help that's provided, but some are just suffering, like what you said, in silence as well. So when you see this kind of situation, does it affect you in any sense, or you feel like a bit emotional because constantly you'll be watching all these time to time, right? How do you filter these and be focused on what needed to be done as a role of a CEO, as a role of a human? I mean, how do you mingle or try to be in that the tightrope, getting the balance?
No, I've not shared with anybody, but I'll share with it with all frankness today.
Yep.
There are days where when I'm driving from point A to point B, I tear in the car because I don't listen to music most of the time in the car because that's my quiet space. And sometimes I just tear because all these affects me. See? And the other flip side of it, these are things which keeps me telling that Anbu, you got to do this with your team. And sometimes one of the things I just want to share is that in our tuition programs, we are the only self-help group who provide refreshments, and we provide to about 4,000 children. And I remember I went to this recently. I put it up in a Facebook also. There was this young girl. She went and she took. We usually give them a bun and a drink. She took one item and the other she put it in a bag. And then I was watching her. She was very hungry and she was eating. So I went to her and said, "Amma, you know me?" And then, "Hi, Amma." And then she, "You know me?" I said, "Yeah, you are Mr. Sinda uncle." I said, "Yeah, okay," because maybe I thought she knows. I said, "Why you don't you drink?" She said, "No, I'm keeping it from my sibling." So I told her, "It's okay. You take the drink. There's one more set. I can give it to you." But that young lady was telling me, but uncle, if I take that, another Tambi won't have his food.
Oh,
So you see, it's so profound, right? So that I was like, so I have to convince her, I have to say, Amma, please, there's a lot of food, please do this. You see? So these are the things, that the child wants to bring, while she gets one bun, she wants to give the drink to another child. So that's why we educate our comrades on the ground to say, never say no to a child. Even there's no food, please, we buy. So when we go to door knocking exercise, sometimes when we speak to the mothers, the children all look at us. And then when we engage the children and say, Saptingla, have you eaten? They say, no. So one of my comrades will quickly go down to the nearest coffee shop. We just buy 5, 6 packets of biryani. And by the time we give it to the family and continue our discussion, you'll see the children, just whacking, in our local term, whacking with
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so it's these are the things, but some days it's heavy on the heart line, and that's what keeps it going. And when we come back, we do a debrief. It's not about the DKE, how many homes we knocked, but what are the problems, and how can we ensure that these problems are all resolved. We are not magic, I keep telling people that if you ask me, Anbu, what is your ambition? My ambition is one of, in many years to come, when I can close the gate of Sinda and put a big lock and say we have achieved. That is the ambition. But it won't happen because the social problems keep coming up, right? So I need to also keep abreast. But you see, the social problem, as you said earlier, it comes in multiple ways and folds, degree, and each household is different. And we try. That's why Sinda alone can't do this. I have a lot of grassroots partners, community partners, and if you notice, our volunteers are not only Indians. We have all races because fundamentally we are all Singaporeans. We are all brothers and sisters. So when everybody comes to that, there's race blind. So it's going well, but I think we, as an organization, we can do better. I'm not saying we are perfect. I always tell my comrades during town hall, hey guys, listen, we are not a perfect organization, but we are aspiring to be perfect. So when everybody finds this and say that, yes, sir, and then when we do something, we share with the team and say, because of you, it happens. So if you're, let's say, a back end, a support team, a finance team, a procurement team, they may think that what do I do? But I when I keep telling them, because you processed it so fast, the family got $200. So well done, and they realize that, oh yeah, I didn't realize. So getting everybody like, uh, it's not me. I'm just the face of Sinda, but the hard work is done by so many of my wonderful comrades sitting in one BT road and also my 560 auxiliary comrades and the volunteers. All of them do a lot of good work. I want to share this space with them and say thank you so much. And to everyone who believes in Sinda, it's because of your.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was very heartfelt. That's why I always wonder. I always see you always on the ground and doing things, and how do you manage this together with your team? And it's good to know because most of the time you only see the most comfortable part of everything in the good side. But deeper, it's very easy for someone to just sit and say, hey, what have Cinda has done? Or you have not given so much. These kind of questions there will be in the community, but looking at things how it's done and how our community has improved and still improving, I mean, it is just heartfelt. Everybody have to come in together, like you mentioned, brothers and sisters. So that's amazing, sir. So this at this point of time, I mean, before I take in the next question about assistance, and the schemes, right? I mean, does Cinda also have counselors if let's say a family is going through some abuse or the wife is like abusive or whatever, in family issues? Does Cinda provides counseling services as well?
So under MSF, right, there's about 48 family service centers all over Singapore. And generally, if you're staying in one part, let's say you're staying in Punggol, you have to go to the FSC, which is below your block or within the vicinity, right? But for the Indian community, you can opt not go to there and come to the SINDA FSC. So we are part of the 48 FSC. Our family service center is situated in SINDA itself. And we have social worker, counselors, about 20. The team consists of about 24 of them. And what we do here is very simple. You see, it's not simple. It's a very calibrated approach. We have our social workers who can speak few Indian dialects because we have people who walk in, and we also have the male and female. See, in some cases, right, a female sister will only talk to a female comrade, then they can open up. And there's also the cultural nuancing and everything. And we also uh, make it very less onerous for them to open up. So when they come, when they see one of my comrade and say that, oh, she's like a sister to me. So the fact that she's a counselor is the second point. The first point is she's a sister to me, she's a brother, he's a brother to me from SINDA. So when they start opening up, they're able to articulate their problem. So once they're very comfortable, they open up, they tell a lot of things. And even in our social workers and counselors, they are trained in many ways. One of them is domestic violence, suicidal tendency, so every the level of training of the social workers and counselors is different. There are some who are able to take on critical cases, some who can do the basic entry. And what we're also doing is that at SINDA FSC, getting more of the younger ones on board, younger social workers as interns and everything. So yes, the point is yes, you just need to walk in, or you can just call in. We There will be someone to hear you out.
Okay, sir. I mean, at this point of time, I'm going to take a few very commendable comments. I think it's very from our society. But of course, the viewers who are watching this, I mean, if you're sending your comments, sometimes I'll not be able to get it from the dashboard because it's going in the multiple platforms, which is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. So I'm just watching it, but I'm definitely going to take it together with the CEO here of SINDA, Mr. Anbarasu, Rajendran, sir. Sir, I have someone by the name of Rutra Kannan, as said, very approachable and supportive leader of SINDA. I have a person here by the name of Dhanalashmi Mohan. She said, I have benefited from SINDA's help, such as back to school vouchers, bursaries, and pocket money. I'm very grateful as it has helped me during my difficult time. I hope more people can come forward and seek help instead of complaining is not helpful. So thank you, Dana. And Dana has
Thank you.
really appreciated sir, for SINDA and of course the work that your team and yourself have done for our community. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Viewers who are watching this, I mean, please do send us questions if you want to ask to engage our CEO. He's really a busy man. We had the opportunity at Kopi Events to get him 1 hour type, get him over the 1 hour schedule. Is also a lot of work to be done because he has his rest time and his engagements and kind of stuff. But we managed to get him here. So if you're watching this, please press the like button and share button as well, so that it can reach out to more families, to our Indian communities and non-Indian communities as well, and to see what kind of work that SINDA is doing and what kind of schemes and services and assistances they are providing. So at this point of time, I mean, of course, you spoke about some numbers on the CPI, if I got also PCI strategies and all that. But some people were just wondering, hey, well, am I eligible? Well, I'm earning 1,007. Can I get SINDA support? So is there some criteria? You talked about it, but is there a criteria where someone say, I need help? Can I approach SINDA?
Okay, so most of our programs, like for example, the education programs, right? There's no PCI. So anybody, if you're an Indian, it doesn't matter how much you earn, you can enroll in the classes. You'll be very surprised. It's just $10 for the whole year. But if you ask me how much is it cost per child, it's about 500 to 600 per month. So the rest of the money is absorbed by SINDA. So if for tuition programs, if you notice, for STEP tuition program especially, we have a lot of people coming, and it's just regardless of the income category. But for some other programs, we have to institute a PCI category, because if we don't do that, what happens is that the brothers and sisters and the families of the less privileged household will not have an opportunity. And that's the reason people keep asking me, why must you have a PCI? I give you an example. If I'm having a robotic class for 5-year-old, and if I don't put a PCI, those who can actually afford to send their children for a robotic class in a private basis will also be competing with those who really can't afford it, right? So that's the reason why for some programs we put PCI category. So, but again, Apart from all these programs, if you really need help, if you have a financial issue, you need a counselor and all those things, there's no PCI. And just, don't sit there and say whether will I get help or not. Just drop us a note and we'll tell you yes we can, or sometimes we tell you we can't help, but I know someone who can help, or I know that agency which can help. So we will be the signpost helping you all everything. We won't let you suffer. If we can't, we know someone who can help, we will help. And that's how it is happening. And people should come forward. There's nothing to be shameful of. It's our problem, and we need people to help. Don't worry about your relatives. I have this biggest thing. I don't know whether I'm going to be controversial, but a lot of them will say that if I come, my relatives will know. But my point to all the brothers and sisters who I meet always is that, yeah, your brother, your relatives will know, but they're not going to help, right? So let me help. I'm your relative, I'm your brother, I'm your son, I'm your uncle. So let me be your relative and help lah. And I got a big team of family out there in SINDA. Let us help. Let's not go through this unnecessary pain and suffering. That's
Thank you,
the
sir. Thank you.
mantra lah.
Thank you. Thank you. Definitely, people who are watching this, நேயர்கள் இதை பார்க்குறவங்க வந்து உங்களுக்கு உதவி வேணும்னா first you have to help yourself.
Ama.
Then only you can help can be provided to you. But if you're not helping yourself to approach for the help, like what our CEO of SINDA sir is saying, that it's very difficult. It's a bigger community. We all need to work together. So thank you, sir. Thank you for that. So this is another thing that we want to talk about. But of course, this is the main question. But the sub, I've not asked you. I've not prepared you. Somewhere in the past, I've heard this. Hope it's not. It definitely is a not a very appropriate. But people say, oh, why do I need to pay to SINDA? Or where's my money is going to? I mean, அதுக்குன்னு ஒரு சின்ன group இருக்கு, but people not realize that how much work has been done, and how many children has been benefited, and how many family. Why is that, sir? I mean, why? I mean, of course, we can't make a perfect world, but there's still some who doubt SINDA, especially when coming to donation, and they feel that what they are doing, they're not doing enough. அது எப்படி, sir? How can we, like what you said, it takes time. You are
Yeah.
improving, we are improving.
Yeah.
How that stigma can be changed?
See, one of the things is that, when you do social work, when you do community work, there you can't please everybody, like, and we realize that, and but my goal is if you ask me, I want to convince everyone, and I'm trying that with the team. One of the things is that SINDA is a IPC, and we're also a charity, right? So, and we're a self-help group. So our accounts, everything is available in the website. We're very clear, and we have auditors who are checking account and everything. So, for the 10th year, we have been clean. That means we have ensured that not a single cent is wasted and everything. So the accounts wise, everything is accounted for and everything. But more so, we have been articulating where the money goes in social media, in our SINDA connection publications and everything. A lot of things, like for example, if I just want to conduct a tuition program, I just get people to do. But we get quality teachers. About 75% of my teachers are all MOE teachers. Why? I can just get anybody, and just come and teach. But it's not quality, right? Why must I give refreshment? Why? Just ask them to eat and come lah. But see, when you have a hungry child, the child cannot study. So we need to take care. And we also get them curriculum, books, toys, and everyone gets a T-shirt. So all this is cost, and when we do programs, there's also cost involved and everything. So your money, I mean, just one example is that we have about 8 to 9 new not new initiatives which other FSCs don't have. I give you one example. When I went to this door knocking exercise, one of the things, I was talking to this uncle and I asked him, are you going for your medical appointments? He said, no, Appa. I said, why? I'll go, he told me in Tamil, this month I'll go for my heart, next month I'll go for my diabetes. I said, but you need to go every month, uncle. Illappa, I don't have money to go, and it's very difficult for me to travel by bus and everything. So we instituted this transport voucher. So now what happens is, if you just connect with our social workers and we find that you're eligible, you get transport vouchers. And guess what? If let's say per month you have 4 appointments, you get 4 times 2 transport vouchers, Grab vouchers. So basically, where all this money going is from the community. We want to tell them that, this is not SINDA, this is the community helping you all. So please don't go into this thing that no one is there. இது வந்து ஊரே தேர் ஊரே கூடி தேர் இழுக்குது. Everybody is coming together. It's just that we are fronting it. And uh, yeah, see, the other problem with the work we do is that we cannot gain by using our beneficiaries line. I'm dead against it. I don't want to put some photos here and there, or get people to say that use them as our brand ambassador. That's wrong. That's wrong. So that's why a lot of things people do not know. But those who are in this ecosystem where they are being helped, they know the thing. So when you're not in the ecosystem, when you're well off and everything, you always doubt, right? I have people coming to me, by wearing this shirt is too prone. It's good and bad lah. Sometimes good, sometimes they will scold me. I get scolding also. It's not that.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. When I go to market or when I go to anywhere, people just corner me and they are rude lah. But I just say, I apologize because it's a mistake. I mean, it's not our mistake, but he just said, Anbu, I'm angry with SINDA. I say, why, Amma? He says, 20 years ago, SINDA didn't help me, so I say, I'm so sorry we didn't help you 20 years ago, but if you need help, come, I'll help you. So you can't please everybody, but I just want to assure everyone that every single cent donated, we make sure it's very, very precious to us. And that's why even during COVID time, when there was a lot of people suffering, our SINDA fund contribution increased. So it doesn't make sense, right? If people don't trust SINDA, and during COVID period, it should be decreasing just like other charities. Ours was going up because people realized that, okay, these guys are doing something I can't do. So at least I contribute.
thank you, sir. Thank you for the assurance. Like that's why I said. I mean, you can just simply wear a long sleeve or a polo tee, and But like you said, you are ready to face, and you are ready there not to just to convince, but this is what we do, and it's coming straight from our heart, not
Yeah,
just the lip services, but we are doing it. And I think for those who still have that doubt, சில பேர் இருப்பாங்க அதை பார்த்துக்கிட்டு அம்மா இது என்ன பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க போறாங்க, what they are doing, the same thing talk. So I think for those who have still have the doubt, I think you should do the door knocking, because a lot of things are happening behind the doors. And I mean, in Singapore, we are very pampered. I got to say that, I mean, comparison to a lot of places that we go out of Singapore. I was having a conversation with one of my very close client. I was saying that Singapore is one of the best place for safe environment. My daughter can go out at night and
yeah.
comes back safely. But these are the things that we don't have it when we go out of it. But a lot of things are happening behind the door. So for people who have doubts, you please join SINDA for one day with our CEO for the door knocking. Maybe perhaps that the mindset, the perception, the way you see things are happening are so much different, sir. I think that's what going out to the audiences. And sir, I mean, we talked about the SINDA fund, and of course, we're going to go into a little bit on the future, but looks like you have changed together with your team, with a lot of support from the community, partners, and so forth. What is the plan for future? I mean, what do you have? Any exciting news that you can share that is allowable to share that you want to tell our audiences?
So I think for us, the first big success for this year is the PCI revision. And at this point of time, I need to thank my president, Minister Indrani Raja, and my chairman, Minister K. Shanmugam, and the board of trustees and the executive committee members. Without them, I may have 1,001 ideas, but I need the boss's approval. And they have been very supportive. And they are all of them in the executive committee and the board of trustees. They know the ground, you see. So we're able to do that. Moving forward, what we're trying to do now is that in-depth intervention. Whether we're going to roll out some programs where it goes to the root of the problem and solve it. And because my point here is that if we're just going to do programs and do initiative, we may not go to the root cause of it, right? So now one of the things we are trying to do here in SINDA is impact analysis. By doing this, what is the impact? If we don't hit the impact, then something is wrong. Then we need to go and rectify it. We are gathering data driven decision making. So all these are happening, but you see, we are dealing with people. We're dealing with people's life. So it's not that within 1 month or 2 months you will get a lot of things, but it has taken us some time, and as we are seeing a lot of improvement. But we want to continue this. We want to continue. The bigger goal for me is, if there are any brothers and sisters who are suffering, they should have this clear vision that I'm not alone. There are people there. So when they have this clarity, we will not have issues on the ground, social issues. I'm not saying it's going to be 100%, but at least it will go down. The families can be independent. They can pursue their dreams and hopes. And more importantly, the children can achieve what they're dreaming. It's very important to the children to achieve their dreams. Not everybody can be someone, but everyone can be someone. I mean, that's how I see. you know and the society cannot measure your success. It's our own. So I think that is the future. We want our Indian community to do well. We are doing well, but I think we've got a lot of scope to do much more.
Definitely more improvements to be done, more involvement and growing together. So at this point of time, I mean, we're going to take a little on the softer side to get to
Okay.
know more better. All of these, we're talking about very serious questions, no, SINDA fun, SINDA, this.
Yeah.
But now we're going to come into the random rapid questions, You seems to be very popular in the social media because yeah, I got a lot of friend requests from you. I was like, what? Sir will never send me a friend request because he is already there. It looks like a lot of people are trying to be you. You got trying to replica of yourself. There's a lot of scams going on also, sir. A lot of people trying to be Mr. Anbu. Is that right?
I guess it's because of the name lah, Anbu, love, But but one of the things I feel very disturbed or very sad is that because of me, a lot of my Facebook friends get inconvenienced because I always tell them, and I've tried putting all the safety measures, whichever is available in the social media. I got 2FA, I got the number generator, everything, but somehow they clone it, like. So. Uh, yeah, maybe because they want to be popular, but I'm actually a very shy guy. The only reason why I started the social media and doing this is because I want people to see me as their brother, as uncle or someone, and say that. And I get people writing to me quite a bit. They write to me in FB messengers to say that, sir, and someone else will write to me, Anna, can I have help? Anna, can I, or Tambi, can I? So you see, when I hear all this in endearment of people calling me Tambi, Anne, uncle, and everything, it makes your heart full, and that's the reason why I'm into social media. It's not for popularity. I think there are many other people who are more popular, but mine is using this social media to connect with people and get them, sorted out their problems.
Thank you, sir. But I can see that every 3 months or 2 months, posts will come in. Somebody has cloned me this time, please do not respond. So I know, okay, this is very common. We will just report it. Anybody who create a new account as Mr. Hanwi, it's actually a scam, because
Yes,
he has one dedicated,
yes.
specially, and his staffs and himself are watching it, and it's only for community services. All right. If anybody sees there's another request sending in, please check it. But normally it doesn't, right? Because it's only maintaining with one profile.
No, no.
Sir,
Once
yeah.
another thing, I just want to tell you, my Facebook is actually my own. It's
Okay.
not managed by my comrades, because
Okay.
I wanted to manage on my own. So whatever you send to me, you get a reply. It's from me, whether it's one
Okay.
o'clock, 2 o'clock at the night, and everything. So if you need help, just shout out. I will help.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Hopefully, no more cloning. Because I see, I will report you, sir. Do you open another account? Because there's another one saying Mr. Anbu. You look at the picture, very fake. Like somebody put something, and then Mr. Anbu is sending requests at this hour. Something's wrong. Like he only
Wrong.
said every 2 months somebody's cloning him. So, audience, please, Okay, sir. So now is a rapid question. What is your favorite time of the day? You got only 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Let's go, sir. Quick.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Okay, we'll come back to that. Favorite food?
Uh Coffee. That's my
Okay, okay.
food most of the time.
What is your favorite subject in school?
The languages, English and Tamil, was my favorite because there was a lot of things I could learn and read, argue about it, and all those things. But I
And not
wasn't
forgetting,
that
you're
good.
also a teacher before, right, sir? You're a teacher,
Yes,
right?
I
Okay.
was.
Asiriyar.
Yes,
Tamil Asiriyar, Tamil teacher?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Because Kotu ulo, but
No,
that
no,
Kotu is needed. I
no. We are
needed
the
that Kotu.
no, we are the
Nowadays
different
we
breed
don't
of.
get a Kotu, sir. Nowadays, but I think I'm very thankful for the Kotu for my Asiriyar, because without the Kotu, I will not be where I am right now.
Okay.
This is a disclaimer I'm making, because it's a perfect Tamil teacher. நிறைய ஆசிரியர் இருந்தாங்க. அவங்கனால தான் என்னோட உச்சரிப்பு கூட பல வருடங்கள் வந்து பயன்படுத்தலடி கூட I still can recall it, because it's because of their dedication. So a special thanks to all the teachers out there, including you as well, sir. Tamil ஆசிரியர்.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
Okay. Your favorite teacher?
I don't have a particular favorite teacher because every teacher taught me something. There were good teachers, there were bad teachers. So one of the things that there were those teachers who were not so fantastic. When I became a teacher, I told myself I shouldn't be like that person. You know,
Right.
just because I didn't study, I was not a good student, and I mean, there was many things like so. I just everyone was my favorite. For those who were not that great to me, I emulated not to be like them. So everyone was a favorite teacher.
Okay, this is behind the social media, huh? When
Yeah,
you are in your boxes, your t-shirts, you are in the
yeah,
home, you are you, right? You are the one, the father. What
yeah.
dish do you cook best?
I cook biryani because I got two sons and they love my biryani. But it's just that I have no time, so my boys will ask me, "Appa, when are you going to cook a biryani?" But I just apologize to them because I'm running around.
Okay, okay, we take note. Loves to cook biryani. What motivates you the most, sir?
when there's someone out there who smiles at me and say that appa romba nandripa, or someone comes to me, the recently I had one uncle at the Teka market. There's so many people, he just came to me, give me a hug, and they said romba nandripa. These are things, when there are people who say thank you from their heart. Some of them will not be very articulate in their expressions, but romba nandripa, these are things eventually, which keeps us going. Just thank you. We're not asking for thank you because it's just our duty. But when we see one complicated case being solved, a family being reunited, a sister who's going through domestic violence is finally free from the pain, all these are, the real outcomes are the one which motivates and keeps telling me, Anbu, you got tomorrow a new day, you better go and do your job properly, and make sure that no one falls through the crack.
Thank you, sir. Even though it's not a rapid question, it's a very long meaning
Yeah.
answer that you get, but still, thank you so much for that. Sir, what is your favorite part of your role?
If you ask me, being a cheerleader. I'm the biggest cheerleader of the community. I go and cheer everybody. I tell my comrades, guys, don't give up. I see the community partners, I said, come on, let's do this together. If I see someone sitting there crying, I said, come on, don't cry. Everything will be okay. So if you ask me, being a cheerleader, people will when you see a game, right? Everybody is looking at the star. But sometimes they forget the cheerleader. But the cheerleader is the one who's creating most impact. So I am the cheerleader of the tribe, cheering everyone. We can do this.
Sir, favorite song, Tamil song.
உனக்கும் கீழே உள்ளவர் கோடி நினைத்து பார்த்து நிம்மதி நாடு. There's so many people below you. Don't worry. You can do well. It's a song which is like an anthem to me.
கொஞ்சம் line.
பாட
I
முடியாது.
don't know, I don't know the Tamil the song. Can you please maybe say a few lines, sir?
No, I can't sing. So let's
You don't
jump
need to
to the
sing.
next.
Maybe you can just say it in words.
Oh, I just said, உனக்கும் கீழே உள்ளவர் கோடி நினைத்து பார்த்து நிம்மதி நாடு.
Where you said it, sir? அது கொஞ்சம் நேச tune போட்டா நம்ம
இல்ல.
but never mind. We will keep it to the backstage to get that.
A lot of them will exit the call.
Thank you, sir. I mean, we are engaging a great conversation with the CEO of SINDA, Anbarasu, Rajendran, sir. Anbu means love. That's what he's been giving to our community. We are live in Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and we will also be going live in recorded podcasts in Spotify and Apple Podcast. I know we have already coming to almost 1 hour, but I've just got these few more questions. I know one or two people have that. I'm trying to finish it up all within
Sure.
1 hour and 10 minutes. I'm just going to borrow another 10 minutes of your time, sir.
Go
If
ahead. Go
not,
ahead.
your comrades already comes in. Brennan, Mr.
No.
Sir, okay. Okay, he has already given me, bro. I know you're watching this, but disclaimer, okay, your boss said that, not I say one, okay. So, we talked about your team and in the teaser video, what you do in the front line, back line. So I'm not going to ask you that, but a most memorable situation that you encounter, whether with your team or something that stuck with you forever, you know that you can never erase off from your database. What will that be, sir?
So, I mean, if you notice, we have this uh, uh, initiative called Hello Baby. We provide a cot, baby cot, some manipulatives, and a toy for the child who is born. This is for 0 to 12 months old. And how this idea came about is when we went on the door knocking exercise, we saw a newborn baby lying on a mattress. There's a mattress, there's no foam, and there was a bed bugs on the baby. So I remember carrying the baby, and I asked the mom, why? She says she was just, she couldn't relate, and there was a lot of cockroaches and everything. So I remember, removing the bed bugs, and the bed bugs were crawling towards me and everything. And imagine for that baby, so that's when we decided that we need to have an initiative. So I still remember, and that baby by now, the child will be 5 6 years old, but these are things which we don't talk about. And when we put an initiative like this, I'm ensuring that no child goes through that. That's one. The second one, as I just shared, we went to another door knocking, and we were talking to the mother. There's 4 kids at home, and I knew that they didn't eat. So I asked my comrade, hey, can you just go down and buy biryani? And when we brought the biryani, I telling you, the kids were eating, and I remember I was wearing this gray color pants, and one of the boy came to me and just hugged my thigh, and he didn't care whether the biryani masala all is going to be on my pants and everything. He just wiped nicely and said, Uncle, Rumba Nandri, Uncle.
Wow.
So it's not about anything, and he was like, so I just gave him a hug and said, you don't have to say thank you to your uncle. மாமாக்கு ஏன் நன்றி சொல்ற, நம்ம எல்லாம் ஒண்ணு தானேயா அப்படின்னு. Then he gave
Right.
me a hug and everything. So these are many many stories, like, maybe once I'm at the tail end of my career, maybe I'll write a book on all this, to tell
I
people that.
think you should, sir. I think you should, because the kind of the feeling, right? It is more that I think that is what gives you that energy to boost even more. Now I always wonder, how is this Anbarasu is doing so much of things
Yeah,
without rest. One day he's in an event with our minister, one day he's in the community, one day he's sitting on the floor, one day he's doing this. I mean, does this particular person have rest? Does he even have sleep time? I think that is a kind of a booster. Is constantly boosting you, because
yeah,
the team that does for our community is an amazing work. People cannot deny that anymore. People can't say, oh, SINDA is not doing anymore. I mean, that's health. That is, people are evolving, people are improving, and we can see it as a citizen. I mean, like I say, nobody's perfect. We cannot
yeah,
be 100%. But if someone is watching there and sitting back and giving comments, why don't you come in together and let's move forward together with the community? I think that is what the message is. Even I'm feeling motivated. I'm sure the listeners who are listening this and people who are giving comments, I'm sure you will have impacted if you have the unbuilt, the
yes,
heart within you. All right. So thank you, sir. Thank you. I'm just going to take one more question and then we are
sure,
going to come to the end of that. In fact, two questions itself. One is for the
sure,
youth, because I think we should shine some spotlight to our younger generation, because these guys are the one who leading our economy for us when we
yeah.
become a little not so young. இப்பவே கொஞ்சம் இடுப்பு நீலாம் கொஞ்சம் லேசா can feel it already. But what is the message that you have for our listeners first before we conclude the last one for the youth? What
Ah,
message do
so,
you?
so So for all the brothers and sisters who are logged in and everything, first thing is SINDA is there for everyone. That there's a lot of opportunities to serve, and if you're a beneficiary, you can be helped and everything. So don't look at SINDA as another government agency and organization. It's like your home. It's like your mother's home. That's why I keep telling everybody, "Ungo தாய் வீடு," and then we are there to help. In fact, I'm just when people tell me CEO Sinda, I just correct them and said, I'm just your brother, I'm just your sister, your cousin. I'm just one of you. So when we remove all this hierarchy, we are able to do this. Or if, let's say, you're not the person, but you know someone who needs help, if even they are not willing, just convince them to bring over to SINDA. And it's not only about helping alone. Our community needs to rise above all the challenges. So for that, it's not only about all this financial assistance and everything. There's another group of us who are doing very well. We need to contribute back. If we can't contribute back financially, contribute back by volunteering. If you're doing well education wise, if you're doing well, come back and serve in many other ways. It is really a community for community lah, really, really. If we don't help our own community, we can't move. It's three steps forward, two steps behind. So we all need to be together, and SINDA is just the umbilical cord which binds everybody. If you ask me what is SINDA, we are just the umbilical cord which binds everybody and tells us that end of the day we are all one family. So let's come together and one family support each other. And
So I
if
love the word that you mentioned, Thai video. People
yes,
should approach SINDA when they have an issue. When you don't have an issue and you think that you are ready to contribute, come in. Let's work in end together. It is not about a race. It's about cohesive. Everybody just moving ahead. There's a big cohesion that we need to move ahead. அது வந்து நல்லா இம்பாக்ட் பண்ணீங்க சார். I think even I can feel it. The
thank
word you
you.
said, is very welcoming. People have to come out from that, right? It's not just words, it is actions, right?
Yeah,
And I think you nailed it right. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that.
thank you.
Last question, sir, but not the least. But of course, we have to, finish the podcast. நம்ம இளைஞர்கள் வந்து our youth are the main, but sometimes our youth can be diverted a bit, fashion, a bit smoking, drinking, clubbing and all this. அது ஒரு வயசுதான். But how can we bring them back to say no, time is priceless, you have to move ahead, you have to, and the advice எப்படி சார் உங்களோட as a teacher, as a principal, now a CEO, and just a common man that you're, how do you make this simple to our youth, very simple, to make them understand, yes, I need to wake up and I need to move ahead, yes, அந்த ஒரு
No,
உற்சாகம் எப்படி சார்?
no, first thing first, நம்ம என்னதான் சொன்னாலும் அவங்களுடைய அந்த அந்த வயசு வந்து ஒரு 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 அவங்க வந்து கேட்க மாட்டாங்க. ஆனா நம்ம என்ன பக்குவமா சொல்லணும். You must tell them nicely. When you tell them that, by hanging, doing all these things, you're just wasting energy. Yeah, why don't you do this something? So that's the reason why we started a football club. And then now the energy is channeled to the positive side of the house. And we have about 40 girls are playing there. So everybody is doing that. But when they come and tell me, sir, but we also want to dance, can. So SINDA, we have a youth program called Game. So they come and we have a trainer. So my point is, you want to learn dance, you must do it well. So I bring in a trainer, and he or she will teach you how to dance properly. You want to play a musical instrument, I'll bring in a trainer. You want to be fit, I bring in a trainer. So we channel all the energies lah. But again, if you ask me, I'm not dealing with 100 people, right? I'm dealing with the whole Indian community. So what
Yes.
we are trying, so it's a big call. It's a tall order. But whenever we have opportunity, whenever we go to schools, whenever we go to Institute of Higher Learning, whenever we meet the youth groups, we tell them that channel your energy to the positive thing. And it's coming. We have people, and we're also working with the institutions where some of them are, and see how we can do a change in them. So it is work in progress, but I think our youths are very promising. I call them champions because they will one day shine. It's just a matter of which area they're going to shine, but every one of them will shine. I have this belief because I've been doing this my whole entire career. I've spent 20 odd years, 25 years with youth, and I'm one of those. You may call me a crazy educator, but I always ask to go to a neighborhood school so that I can handle all these guys. And even till today, recently, I met one guy, in Strangon Road. He's got two kids, and he was smoking. But the moment he saw the Australia, the cigarette went behind, and he was talking to me. So I jokingly said, "Yeah, Pate, you burn your hand and everything." So he laughed, and so these are the children. So let's not put down the youngsters, but I'm sure they will be there. They will shine. It's just that we need to tell them what are their strengths. So let's not keep harping on their weakness, and tell them, hey, you got this strength, lah. Come, join me, and let's do this, and they will shine, lah, brother.
Sir, I feel very honored having you. I don't know what to call you, whether to call you the boss of Sinda or
Just call me
whether
brother. No need
brother.
CEO, nothing.
You
CEO is
have
my working title.
yeah, sir, because you have created many names, not because for the fame. You just have done it, and you have a lot of names. Like when you say, some people call you Ayya, brother, cousin, Uncle Sinda. I'm also confused. Do not know what to call you. But it's such a great honor to get so much of information about our community, what people do for everybody. Well, people just sit down and complain and talks about. I mean, and the unmaigal, a lot of truth has came out, and you explain in the easiest and simplest manner to absorb. I think that is the most important thing, and I think it was a great honor having you for
Thank you.
almost 1 hour 10 minutes. It's just like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I really enjoy the session with you, talking with you. I can feel the warmness, even though we are virtual. I
Yeah.
can feel the humbleness, the
Thank you.
connectivity. I'm sure your staff loves you to the core, because a person is not just a boss who sit in the office and say, go and do this, do that. No, I am there for every single thing, and I want to be the first person to hear, and I want to make sure that everything runs and well. Let's do together. அது வந்து ரொம்ப பேர்கிட்ட வராது. அது வந்து சும்மா பேசிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க, இல்ல ஒரு நடிப்புக்காக பண்ணுவாங்க. But you walk the talk, sir, and you talk
Yeah.
the walk. So literally amazing, amazing. It's our blissfulness and blessed to have you as a CEO of SINDA for our community, because we're not just talking about numbers. It's a huge amount, thousands and thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of issues, and amazing. So thank you so much for spending a good 1 hour 10 minutes with me, sir. Thank you so much. I feel well blessed.
Thank you, brother, for this opportunity, because every opportunity to connect with our brothers, sisters, and the families is very important to me. And one of the reasons I keep telling is that I don't have any agenda in life. I just want to help people. And that's why we are here at SINDA. So uh, we'll continue doing that. And I also want to apologize to people that for some reasons we're not able to do our job properly. I apologize. People will still remember the bad things about SINDA, but I
Mhm.
assure you it's all done and past, and just drop us a note and we will help you. We are there. We're just your family members who are doing this for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking your 1.5 hours. I mean, one
No
hour, ten
worries.
minutes, and all that, and being so humble to be accepting my Kopi with Vans and going social media, talking about everything about Sinda, what your staff does, and you talked a lot about your staff rather than yourself. So we are trying to understand who is the real man of this Anbarasu Rajendran. But we're trying to find out what does he cooks and what கொஞ்சம் information வருது. But yeah, it's good to have a great conversation with you. Feeling so time just ran by,
Yeah.
and the time over it. So thank you so much, sir. I mean, if you
Thank you.
ever need my expertise, let me know. I'm also be happy to come and give my கொஞ்சம் என்னென்ன முடியுமோ நான் பண்றேன். Thank you so
Nichama,
much for
Nichama. Thank you so
having us.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll catch up soon, and we will
Sure.
have a real coffee.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye
Bye bye.
bye. Sorry, you see, now the cough coming. I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, that was CEO of SINDA, Anbarasu Rajendran. Anbu means love. I mean, such a humble guy, a man. He got so many names now. Uncle Sinda. I mean, nowadays, bosses, they have their own style. But wearing a proud word of Sinda and going to the market and going to the grounds and able to face situations and challenges and obstacles and be ready to be there genuinely to help out our community. I think அது வந்து ஒரு different level எடுக்கும். But like I said, right, everybody's improving, everybody's moving towards achieving together, right? We are not having a competitors, right? The biggest competitor that we ever have in our life is ourselves. If we don't wake up at 7 a.m., that's some problem with us. Maybe perhaps you want to wake up at 8. I mean, of course, we need our 8 hours of sleep. But the biggest competitor is our own self. We are our own competitor. And the competitor, நம்மன்னு நினைச்சிட்டு நமக்குள்ளே ஒரு போட்டி போட்டு எப்படி நம்மளும் முன்னேறிட்டு the same time the community that we live in. I mean, for those who are blessed, if you are blessed, it's time to give back. All right. And for those who are not so blessed, I mean, we are blessed, but it's time to get help. so that in future, if you're watching this, you probably will help the society as well. No one will be able to conquer alone. It has to be done like a marathon. And that is why our CEO of SINDA, Anbarasu, Rajendran, once I keep on running, I saw him exercising a lot. I mean, in fact, I forgot to ask about the exercise part. I mean, there was so many things to ask him, So probably I had to contact again SINDA and say, hey, can we have part two or not to get CEO back? There's so many things to talk about, right? We always want to talk about things that unpleasant to us, that happened before, or hear from people. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு comments, அந்த மாதிரி judgment வந்துட்டே நம்ம வாழ்ந்துட்டு இருக்கோம். We are living with that. But I think it's improving. We need to open up our dimensions, the way that we think, the way that we feel, and we need to be a part of the community. I mean, like I said, we can't make everyone happy, lah. I usually say in my quotes that if you want to make everybody happy, you got to sell ice cream because everybody loves ice cream. But that's impossible, right? So once again, thank you so much to the CEO of SINDA, Anbarasu Rajendran. Thank you so much, sir, for spending that time with Kopi events and engaging some in-depth things that going behind SINDA and with your team as well. Together, we all moving ahead. So thank you. If you're watching this, please do share and like as well. And yes, will be at Spotify and Apple Podcasts in the next 1 hour, so you can listen to them and you can share these links to people out there who wants help, or if you know someone who's going through a rough patch or some obstacles or some challenges that you're seeing them, reach out to them, and you know how to contact SINDA. Approach them, tell them the situation, and see what help or assistance they can provide to us as a community. We all need to work together. It's not just about individual anymore. It's all about together, achieving together. All right. So this is your host, Vance. Yes, I know I've not been drinking coffee, even though it's like a Kowalek club, metal, we got coffee, but it's water, see? And my speaker also never drink. Keep on talking and talking and talking. Make him talk a lot. I'm going to get it from the manager itself. He said, Vance, you make him talk a lot. I said, that's the whole idea, buddy. And he spoke to us everything that needed to, to understand better where and who is SINDA is all about. And there's a short teaser video. You can also watch them in social media. All right, it's time for me to say adios, amigos, and thank you for watching me and my guest speaker, CEO of SINDA, Anbarasu Rajendran. More top events coming up in Kopi events and to impact the community. Signing off. Adios, amigos. Bye.